Good evening, everyone,
Guten Abend
and
alle
welcome to
und
our Land of
willkommen zu unserem
Shambhala
Land
Holistic
von
Life
Shambhala
Series. In this
Holistic
talk,
Life Serie.
we have Katy Otero
Katy
speaking with
Otero
us today,
heute Abend,
who
die
on the science of
zu uns
healing,
spricht über die
particular
Wissenschaft
Tibetan
vom
medicine.
Heilen, insbesondere über die tibetische Medizin.
As an introduction to
Zur
Land of
Einführung
Shambhala project,
des
as
Land
you
von
all know,
Shambhala-Projekts.
we have 40 acres of land here in Victoria,
400
Australia, where
Land hier
Rinpoche's
in
vision to
Victoria in
build
Australien,
the Land of Shambhala right here.
Khenpo Rinpoche
And
diese
part
Vision
of that,
hat, das Land von
he would
Shambhala
like to integrate
aufzubauen.
the Bodhisattva sciences
Und er möchte
as an
die
offering on
Wissenschaften
the
der
land, but
Bodhisattvas
also
als
grow
Gaben
these particular medicinal
für
herbs
die
that are used so we can heal people holistically with
und
body and mind.
Also diese Wissenschaftsgaben da geben und auch die Medizin, die dort angebaut wird. Katy spricht heute Abend mit uns über die Wissenschaft des Heilens.
So Katy has a master's in philosophy
ein Masters
at Lyon
in Philosophie
University in France.
Von der Lyon
She's
Universität
also
in
done a
Frankreich.
year of cognitive sciences at the
über
Institute
die,
of Cognitive Sciences in Lyon.
Die kognitiven Studien gemacht.
And 3 years of research between the body and mind relationship in both philosophical and scientific fields.
Beziehung zwischen Körper und Geist.
She's also graduated in structural osteopathy and made a postgraduate course in osteopathy near Paris from 2009 to 2014. And she began to learn and practice traditional Tibetan medicine in 2010 with Dr. Nida
mit Dr.
in Europe.
Nida
and it's been able to teach and transmit the Tibetan medicine since 2018. Parallel to this, she's also followed the Buddhist path of Yongtok-Nytik, a spiritual set of practices related to traditional Tibetan medicine. She is also a Sultan volunteer and translator with us here as well. So I'd like to welcome Katy and get her to introduce herself and start her talk. Thank you, Katy.
Kann sich jetzt selbst auch ein bisschen vorstellen.
Thank you, Tanya.
Hallo, vielen Dank, Tanja. Hallo alle, willkommen.
I'm really happy,
ich bin sehr glücklich, dass ich ein klein bisschen über die tibetische Medizin als Einführung euch zu geben.
Just to mention a little bit of my studies in Tibetan
meine Studien der tibetischen Medizin. Ich bin kein Namshi, ich bin kein Arzt, ich bin nur eine Praktizierende, weil ich nicht alle die Studien gemacht habe, um einen Doktor zu werden, aber seit einigen Jahren habe ich Klassen zusammen mit Dr. Nida gemacht. Wir hatten auch die Möglichkeit, nach Tibet zu gehen, zu sehen, wie sie dort praktizieren in den Krankenhäusern. Aber nur, ich möchte klarstellen, dass ich kein Arzt bin. Ich bin kein Experte. Es ist nur eine sehr einfache Präsentation heute.
Okay. Well, so I'm gonna put some slides. A little presentation. If you let me share screen. Okay.
Eine Präsentation machen.
Okay, here we are. Everybody can see my screen.
Kannst alle sehen?
Yeah. Okay. So, what is Tibetan medicine? First
Was
of all,
ist tibetische Medizin?
Tibetan medicine is called Sowa Rigpa. What you see here, Sowa Rigpa. We will see a definition just afterwards.
Definition des Wortes gleich sehen. Aber ich möchte erstmal mit etwas Geschichte beginnen.
Okay. So, Sowa Rigpa is one of the really most ancient Asian traditions of healing.
Des Heilens.
It was born, really we don't really know, we say that dates back 9,000, 10,000 years, maybe more, because
9.000 bis 10.000 Jahre in die Vergangenheit zurück.
We don't have, maybe we will find later some data that will back even earlier.
Genau, es kann sein, dass es vielleicht sogar noch weiter in die Vergangenheit zurückgeht.
That's what we know. And it was born in the Himalayas,
wurde in den
big vast region.
Himalaya geboren.
So you can count on, of course, Tibet, but also Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan,
Nepal,
India,
Sikkim, Bhutan,
Ladakh, all these indigenous people, they had their own observation of nature, their own rituals. And
die haben dort diese mit ihren Ritualen und mit ihren Medizin
and so all these make what we call today, so it has many influences.
Da sind also viele Einflüsse,
from China,
auch spätere
also,
Einflüsse von
China, from
und von Ayurveda.
It is very a syncretism of many different languages throughout history. Also, we believe that the Silk Road helped to develop and spread this knowledge.
Und dann wurde das Wissen
we cannot say that it's only a Tibetan medicine. That wouldn't
es ist
be
nicht
true.
nur tibetische Medizin,
es origins and
hat auch Hintergründe.
So, yeah. So basically, this is what you have to remember.
Also,
it is very old.
Es ist also ein sehr altes System. Es
many indigenous
viele Sachen dort zusammen.
Then
das Wissen verschiedener Quellen
of Chinese
mit
medicine,
Einflüssen der
Ayurveda,
chinesischen
Greek,
Medizin, Ayurveda,
Persian,
Griechisch, Persisch.
All these knowledges of
Das
of
Wissen
healing.
all dieser, also es vom Heilen von all diesen Hintergründen
Tibetan
zusammen.
Buddhism influences, because its roots
ist auch
are
Einfluss auf die tibetischen Buddhismus.
In the 8th century, let's say
Im
that
8.
Tibet
Jahrhundert
was
Tibet
strongly re-Tibetized by Guru Padmasambhava and Shantarakshita. They came to
Shantarakshita
Tibet
und
during the reign
Padmasambhava, die
three
nach
sons
Tibet
and king.
kamen.
And it also really influenced, because, for instance,
von
the Bon, they had like ritual sacrifices, like animal sacrifices and
dort
so on.
waren halt
and
die
Guru Padmasambhava said that it was not
aktiv
correct
und
to
die
kill
hatten da halt
animals,
noch
because
Tieropfer gemacht und
life is very
dem hat dann
very
Padmasambhava ein Ende gesetzt, der gesagt hat, dass das
so you see, there's also
Leben sehr
this
wertvoll ist.
of Tibetan Buddhism and Indian
da ist also
Buddhism.
dieser Hintergrund des
Also
tibetischen
Buddhismus.
Wir haben auch die Nakpa-Tradition, das sind diese Yogis, Leibpraktizierende, die in Dörfern und auf den Bergen wohnen, wie zum Beispiel in Repkong.
Yeah, they have this healing tradition.
Sie haben diese Tradition,
genuine healing tradition, also that they preserve,
die sie dort
generation
erhalten von Generation zu Generation.
Also a Terma tradition.
Da gibt es dann auch noch die Terma-Tradition. Terma,
it's a treasure, that
Schätze,
is hidden, like
die versteckt sind von Guru Rinpoche oder Padmasambhava.
To make those for future generations.
Diese versteckt das dann spätere Generationen, wenn die Zeit reif ist, dass dann ein Tertan sie findet.
By let's say magical means, more or less. These people are very special. They are very special powers. They know languages that we don't understand. They know exactly where to go, in what rock, etc., etc. So they find these treasures.
Diese Schätze dann finden.
Guru Padmasambhava also wrote some medical texts and revealed some knowledge, medical knowledge
hat also auch medizinisches Wissen auf diese Weise
also the sutras of Buddha Shakyamuni,
die Sutras von Buddha Shakyamuni und die Tradition der Klöster sind auch erhalten auch noch diese Tradition. So ein bisschen von der Geschichte.
We have here another slide, but it's more if we have time in the end, or for people who will be interested.
Für diejenigen, die Interesse haben, habe ich hier eine Liste
mit verschiedenen Texten.
Like very ancient one.
Das sind
They're not, of course, not all the
traditionelle
texts are here. It's not possible.
Nicht alle natürlich,
but one of, let's say, the most
aber es sind einige der wichtigsten.
We have this BG yellow cover.
So das
it's an
BG,
oral transmission-based text, very old. There is also another. I haven't put it here. Another text from the Bon tradition.
Text von der Bön-Tradition.
The Bumshi is also very important. This one is also
sehr
of
wichtiger
Bön
Text.
origin. Bumshi means 400,000 verses.
Das heißt 400.000 Vers.
Also the Mijikpe Tsencha, the indestructible weapon,
die unzerstörbare Waffe.
We will make these available for people afterwards if anyone would like this listing of books. Also, if anyone has any questions along the way, please add them to the Q&A section as we go along.
Another very important is the Somaraja, the Moon King treatises. All our charts, all the points are based on this book. Another very important is the Gyushi. I will mention it.
Und dann das Wichtigste ist das Gyushi, oder eines der wichtigsten ist das Gyushi. Da werde ich oft drauf eingehen, die 4 Tantra. Das ist quasi die Bibel der tibetischen Medizin. Alle Ärzte der tibetischen Medizin berufen sich darauf. Dann die Yutok-Nyingtik.
Das
ist die Herzessenz der Belehrung von Yutok. Da werde ich später drüber sprechen. Also Yutok ist der Vater der tibetischen Medizin und dieser Text ist Tradition, die für spirituelle Hintergrund.
So let's talk a little bit about Yutok and then we go.
Jetzt sprechen wir ein bisschen über Yutok. Dann gehen wir danach auf Savarikpa rein.
Actually, there are 2
Yutok.
They say there are 2
2
Yutoks in the Namtars, in the biographies.
In den
But historiographers, they don't really agree. Some say that the old Yutok did never exist.
Manche sagen, dass Yutok nie existiert hat.
But let's say, I will tell you what I've learned.
Aber ich sage, was ich gelernt habe. Du hast mir gesagt, demnach gibt es einen Yutok den Älteren, im 8. Jahrhundert hat er gelebt und der hatte außergewöhnliche Kräfte und der konnte also mit 3 Jahren schon sprechen und lesen. Und er hat einen sehr mitfühlenden Geist und von sehr jung an.
Lineage family members were like healers. So he began to heal very young at the age of. He began to train at 5 and at 8 he was already a healer. So he was like they say that he's a
sehr jung, als er angefangen hat, andere zu heilen.
Buddha Sangyamala, Medicine Buddha.
Wurde als Ausstrahlung des Medizin Buddhas angesehen. Hatte seine erste Übertragung vom Medizin Buddha in Träumen erhalten und auch von Dakinis,
of the glorious medical garland,
die Dakini des
written here. And is the first, if he did existed, if he existed, sorry, he would be the first to write, to systematize what we call the 4 Tantra,
die 4 Tantras
famous Bible
zusammengestellt hat, diese Bibel der Heiler.
Is the founder of
auch der Gründer,
so he made a very international conference on healing.
Eine internationale Konferenz gemacht. Das war das erste Mal
in der Region. He invited many scholars, many physicians
from Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, der chinesischen Medizin, der griechischen Medizin,
of course Tibetan medicine,
der tibetischen Medizin,
Nepalese, Bhutanese, Thai. He really invited all the famous physician of his time, and they made like a great symposium.
Mediziner seiner Zeit eingeladen.
Also, he found it after that. He decided that medicine should be spread, like because it's the
gedacht, dass die Medizin sich ausbreiten sollte.
Knowledge treasure. So he founded Menugon Patanadu, the first teaching center for Tibetan medicine, where he really trained many thousands
viele Tausende Schüler ausgebildet hat.
The young Yutak,
der junge Yutak,
we know he existed, really.
von dem wissen wir, dass er tatsächlich existiert hat. Und
reincarnation of Yutak the Old.
Ist die 13. Inkarnation des älteren Yutak. Und er hat auch sehr viel für das tibetische Wissen der Medizin geleistet.
He added
also many things from systematisiert und er hat dann viel aus der Ayurveda hinzugeführt.
He also is the one who revealed the Yutok-Nitik tradition,
die Yutok-Nitik-Tradition, die rituelle Tradition offenbart und die Texte dazu geschrieben. Und dann hat sich diese Tradition, diese rituelle Tradition hat sich dann daraufhin ausgebreitet.
But he decided that for the sake of healers, because he knew that physicians, they wouldn't have the time to practice Dharma like other people. They are always running. They have so many patients.
So Leute haben sie nicht viel Zeit zu praktizieren und deswegen hat er diese besondere Praxis kreiert. In 7 Tagen hat er die Essenz des Ngondro zusammengefasst. Das heißt sehr kompakt.
In 7 days you can already
7 Tagen kann man schon CDs von Yutok erlangen. Es ist also nicht nur für Ärzte, es ist zwar für sie geschaffen, aber jeder kann es praktizieren.
Okay. So now, what is really Savarikpa?
Was ist Savarikpa?
Are there any questions or?
No, we'll keep those to the end.
Fragen kommen am Ende.
Yes, thank you. Please jump in.
Okay, good. So now, what is Savarikpa?
Also was ist
Savarikpa? Here I made just a little slide to explain it.
Hier eine kleine Folie, das
so it has basically 2 meanings which are very important.
Die sehr wichtig
sind. First one
die erste
is based on the science of healing.
Basiert auf der Wissenschaft des Heilens.
And Rikpa means
und dann
science. This is
die
the left column.
Wissenschaft.
And so it will bring, it talks about physiology, how to keep balance in our daily lives,
im täglichen Leben erhält,
the balance of the body and the energy.
Im
So
Körper
it's based
und der
on the
Energie.
4 medical tantra, the
basiert auf den 4 medizinischen Tantras, der Bibel, die ich vorher erwähnt hatte. Aber es gibt auch noch eine andere Bedeutung, deswegen haben wir die Yutok-Nitik.
Soa in that means in that sense means nourishment, to nourish, not to heal but to nourish. And Rikpa is the awareness, not only to be conscious, to be aware. In French, we don't have this distinction. It's really interesting that you have it in English. And so it means the absolute balance. What does it mean?
Balance.
It means that if you, this is the spiritual part of the path
dieser spirituelle, rituelle Teil,
of physicians.
Der für die
It means that if you only care about your body,
das heißt also, wenn man nur sich um den Körper kümmert und die Energie, aber man den Geist nicht
will be in disequilibrium once again, even if your diet is correct, even if your behavior is correct, because your mind is the trigger.
Der Geist
can I ask, are you talking about the gross cycle of energy when you talk about the physical health and then the subtle energy?
No, I'm talking about growth and subtle. Both of them, Tanya, both of them. Because you have in your body, I will come to that. You have in your body, you have subtle energy, you have gross energy also. And in your body and in your mind.
Körper und den Geist.
So these two, so this absolute balance, so this is how to tame your mind, is more in the Yutok-Nitik tradition, the spiritual one, and they are called the two jewels of Tibetan medicine. Okay, so how does it work? The cosmology of Tibetan medicine, this is where it is really bounded to Kala Chakra Tantra.
verbunden mit dem Kala-Chakra-Tantra,
went in the Kala-Chakra-Tantra, he read it, of course, and the cosmological principles, he found it in the Kala-Chakra-Tantra, and also the subtle body, the Vajra body. So first we have 5 elements. Well, first we have emptiness, and I will explain. But let's say we have 5 elements. Here you have space,
also hier mit dem
wind,
Raum, den Wind,
fire,
das
water,
Feuer,
and
das
earth.
Wasser und die Erde.
All of these,
Diese alle
when in this order, are
in
generated
dieser
from one another.
Reihenfolge
So
sind sie
space generates
das
wind,
eine von dem
wind
anderen
generates
erschaffen.
Fire will
Also
generate
Raum
water,
schafft
and
Wind,
water will
Wind schafft
generate earth.
Feuer,
So you're going from
Feuer
subtle to
schafft
gross?
Wasser.
Exactly.
Also vom
You're
Subtilen
going
in
from
das
emptiness, from
zum
very, very subtle
Groben,
to gross,
von der
infinite matter.
Leerheit
Exactly. In this
zum
order,
Groben,
you have
zur
all
Materie.
the things created, possibly created in
So sind
our
alle
universe.
Dinge im
There are other
Universum
universes, but in
kreiert.
our universe, this is how everything
So
goes.
wird
Your body, your mind, your
funktioniert
energy,
alles,
the rivers, the
Körper,
lakes, the
Geist,
mountains,
die
the planets, the stars.
Berge, alles.
Okay, so how does it work?
Wie funktioniert das?
We go from emptiness,
Von
Shunyata,
der Leerheit, Shunyata, ausgehend, Tongvani,
and there's this
Tibetisch.
very, very super
Von da
subtle
ausgehend ist das
vibration,
super subtile
which creates that will create sound.
Vibration, die
Drop. The sound will
Klang
vibrate a
erschaffen. Dieser
little more.
Klang
It will create light.
wird Licht
Still, we are
schaffen.
in a pure, very subtle
Wir sind immer noch in
dimension.
der rein
Light is still very
sehr
subtle.
subtilen
Are we
Dimension.
talking about the process of creation?
Das ist der Prozess der Erschaffung,
The process of creation of everything.
die
And you see the 2 aspects I already mentioned, subtle and
dieser
gross.
Aspekt
They're already
subtil
contained.
und grob.
Well, emptiness contains and everything.
Leerheit,
I mean,
enthält
everything
alles.
originates from
Alles
emptiness. In this Buddhist
hat den Ursprung
conception, of course.
in Leerheit,
Some
in diesem
people will say
buddhistischen
it's not
Konzept,
that, but
Vorstellung.
okay. This is our cosmology in
Also das ist
Soaripa. We
unsere
believe as the
Kosmologie
Kala
in
Chakra that the
Savarika,
universe functions like that.
wie im Kala Chakra, dass
Then
das
from light
Universum
we
so
go to
funktioniert. Also
grosser
aus dem
level,
Licht
rays,
kommen dann die
and the really gross
Strahlen,
level they call
dann
impure dimension, all the 5
Unrein-Dimension,
elements,
die
and then all the
groben
combinations of possible existing
Dimensionen,
creatures,
das sind dann die
and things.
5 Elemente
And
der
so,
Form.
for them, that's why if you only keep
Deshalb,
the gross level,
wenn ihr
the material, the physical level for a
wenn man
physician,
jetzt
you will not
als
get
Arzt nur
an
die
absolute balance, because all
nur,
this
sich nur
you
um
don't
die
take into account
Formelemente
the sound, the light,
kümmert
the rays
und
in your
Klang,
mind, in your
Licht
body,
und
in your energy. So this also you have to work with spiritual.
Strahlen vernachlässigt, dann kann man diese
So
absolute Balance
after
sicherstellen.
that, we have internal elements that
Die
will
internen
constitute all our
Elemente,
bodies,
die unseren
our
Körper
cells, our
zusammenstellen,
tissues. We call them
unsere Bindegewebe,
Jungwanga, the 5 origin
5
elements. The 5
ursprünglichen
origins.
Elemente.
So they are exactly what we have just seen: space,
Also Raum,
which develop things, wind.
der Dinge entwickelt,
Wind makes things grow.
der Wind lässt Dinge
Fire, it makes maturate,
wachsen.
dry,
Feuer
and heat.
Sachen
Water will connect,
Wasser
and
wird
Earth will stabilize.
verbinden und die Erde wird
So,
stabilisieren.
each of these 5 elements
Jede
we
dieser
have
5
inside our body
Elemente haben wir in unserem Körper.
are subtle, more subtle than we will see that we have also
subtil
external elements.
Die
And these internal are
die
more
externen
subtle
Elemente.
elements. So
Hier ist es mehr
they
subtil.
all are
Sie sind
related to a function in the body, a limb in the
zu
body,
Körperfunktionen
a solid organ,
und
a
zu
hollow
einem,
organ, a sense organ, and a sensory
zu
function.
einer Extremität, zu
We are
einem
not
Organ
going
und
to
so
see them
weiter.
in detail here, but I want you to
Sind damit verbunden.
you to see how it is directly connected to our body.
Wir wollen da
these
sehen, dass
subtle
das ist
elements,
direkt mit unserem Körper
which are the 5
verbunden. Diese
constitute
subtilen
our cells.
Elemente
Let's take
sind also das, was unser
let's
Körper
take an
zusammen
example. Let's say that, for instance, you are very sad,
Zum Beispiel,
your
wenn Sie sehr
heart is
traurig
like,
sind,
you are
dann ist
sad,
das
let's say, you're
Herz,
grieving, or I don't know what happened to you, you're sad. They say that the element space will close in your heart. And then you will, like, your heart won't be open as when you're, like, joyous and, you know, you're having a fun time, a funny time, or, yeah.
Spaß haben.
So these elements, we work on them.
Also wir arbeiten mit diesen
The external elements
die äußeren Elemente
are really like the Chinese elements.
sind wie die chinesischen Elemente.
We already know them. Wood,
die kennen wir bereits.
Fire, earth,
Holz,
metal,
Feuer,
and water.
Erde,
and
Metall
this is
und
said
Wasser.
to be astrological elements because they are related to the planets,
die sich auf die
the cardinal
Planeten
and
beziehen,
intercardinal directions. And so they directly influence the seasons. And the seasons directly influence our body. We should not eat the same in nature. Things don't grow in wintertime as they grow in springtime or summertime. And the same, we don't have to eat. We have to adapt our behavior, our diet, everything to the season.
Das, was wir essen,
so this is why we take that into account also. And as, I don't know if you noticed, but here, the calendar of the seasons, we have 5 seasons in Tibetan medicine, not 4, as in Western medicine.
And
we have 360 days,
und wir haben
and
360 Tage.
this is a lunar calendar.
Das heißt also, es ist ein
So this is also another influence of Tibetan Buddhism.
Des tibetischen Buddhismus.
Even if it's Chinese, the 5 external elements are Chinese, the Tibetan kept the Tibetan calendar.
Die Tibeter haben aber den tibetischen Kalender.
How does it work? It works like these 5 elements
wie das? Die 5 Elemente hier
what we call a mandala. They are in a mandala. This is perfect balance. Mandalas are perfect balance of the 5 directions. In Tibetan medicine, we will skip space because space we consider it's included in all other elements.
In den anderen Elementen enthalten ist.
From 5, we have 4.
Also aus den
and
5
this is
werden
like
4.
In Greek medicine, you see TGM. It's like Greek medicine with the 4
griechischen
elements,
Medizin,
Rabbi,
den 4 Elementen,
etc.
TGM.
Then Tibetan said, okay, even these 4 elements we can put in 3.
Die haben dann
we
die
can keep
4
the wind.
Elemente in 3
Okay,
zusammengefasst.
so we will call the wind a certain humor. We will call it lung, which means wind.
Der Wind wird dann also Lung.
We can keep fire.
Wind, und dann Feuer bleibt
We will name it a second humor called tripa.
Das heißt dann Tripa.
And we can put water and earth together and we create a third humor. We will call
Erde und
Peken.
Wasser, und das heißt, das wird dann Beken.
And this is more or like Tibetan Indian medicine and Tibetan
wie der
medicine.
indischen Medizin.
We have the 3 doshas in Ayurveda,
Also die 3
like
Doshas
we have
in Ayurveda.
the 3 humus in Tibetan medicine: lung, air; tripa, fire; and peken, water and earth. We can also add another humor with the fire, which we call KH here. It's chag in Tibetan. Chag means blood. Okay, which also is very important.
Has some blood.
And in conclusion, when we make diagnosis,
wenn wir eine
okay,
Diagnose
is this
stellen,
pathology
dann
hot
in dieser
or is this
Pathologie
pathology cold? What is the
heiß
nature
und kalt.
of the
Was ist
root
die
of the
Natur,
pathology?
die
Is it
Wurzel der Pathologie?
hot, like
Ist es
the nature of the
heiß?
sun?
Hat es die
Or is it
Natur der Sonne?
Cold of the
Oder ist
nature
es
of the
kalt, die
moon?
Natur
And
des
so we will treat
Mondes?
accordingly.
Und
If it's
wir
hot,
werden
of
dann
course,
dementsprechend
we
behandeln.
will
Also wenn
cure
es
with
heiß ist, dann werden wir
cold,
es
and if
behandeln
it's
mit
cold, we will
Kälte,
cure
und wenn
with
es kalt
hot.
ist, werden wir es mit
Well, it's a little bit more complicated because you have roots and then you have
Hitze,
symptoms, etc.
aber es
But
ist natürlich
let's say that
komplizierter.
we do it
Aber so
easy,
grob
the simple way now.
gesagt ist
Kati, can I ask the determination of the 4 elements into the 3 humans? So like why the water and earth create Beka?
Yeah, because both have cold nature. Let's say lung, for instance, is neutral. Its manifestations are cold, but it's neutral in nature. Tripa, the fire, is hot because
Tripa
fire is always hot.
Weil Feuer immer
But
heiß
earth
ist. Aber Erde
and
und
water,
Wasser,
they have the same nature of
wir haben die beide
coldness. They are
Natur
cold.
der Kälte.
And also one is derived from the other because they say that from the water it will condensate, it will densify, and it will create the earth. That's why you have minerals in the earth also, and in the earth. So they have the same nature. That's why for the Tibetans, even if they make the distinction between them, they don't really are the same exactly, but they can go together, really.
Identisch sind, aber sie
okay, and so we have here the three humus. Lung, which is neutral, which means literally motion. It can boost hot or cold, which don't really like each other, because fire is burning, is going up, water is cold, or Becken is cold, is going down. If you put hot and cold, it makes like storms, in the nature. In nature. So it's the same. And the lung is the energy of the mind. We will see also of the body, but of the mind. It will make those antagonist energies, fire and water in our body, communicate, link
kommunizieren lassen,
verbinden sie. Really. So we also have gross and subtle lung, Tripa, and Becken. Of all the three humans have gross and subtle levels. So here you have the locations of the lung. It's not very interesting now to depict everything in detail, but you have it's like the central channel, more or less. There's the one lung in the heart here pervades all the body also. And the subtle lung, what we call gross and subtle. The gross lung would be the energy of the body. Okay? And the subtle lung will be, they put consciousness, but it's more mind. Tibetan call that, the term in Tibetan is sem. Sem means mind. And so they have a metaphor for that, for the lung, the gross and the subtle lung. Tibetans say that it's like energy is like a blind horse. Okay? Consciousness or mind is like a man without legs. It means it's a man on a horse. The man has got no legs, but he has eyes. He knows where to go. And the horse has legs, but it's blind. So the horse is the energy, it's running, but it doesn't know where to go. It doesn't have this consciousness. And the man who's riding the horse has the consciousness. So both subtle and gross lung need each other. And this is what constitutes our subtle energy and the mind. Okay, so it's thanks to the lung that we have an interaction between body and mind. It's thanks to this energy, this lung, that the body and the mind are not separated. And what's going on in the death process? The lung goes and the body stays. And the mind, if you believe in reincarnation, the mind goes away and goes into the bardo. So afterwards, we have a little glimpse of the Tripa, subtle Tripa and gross Tripa. Gross Tripa is also located in the body, throughout the body, also with the skin. That's why you see the pink color here. And the subtle Tripa is what we call divine fire. Divine fire is the physiologically is the metabolic heat, what we call medre, which is the base in Tibetan medicine. Medre, the digestive system, is the base of our health. Really, is really an important notion. But the subtle counterpart, when you can refine this, it's the tumo. We call it tumo, divine fire. And we can develop it with the practice.
Das können wir durch Praxis
and now the subtle and gross Becken. So the gross Becken pervades also the body, and here we can also see it in all the joints of the body. And the subtle one is what we call the La energy.
Das Subtile, das ist die
La energy is very peculiar because some intend to explain what it is. Some say that it's the aura, some say that it's the immune system, some say that, okay, so it's a very subtle energy of the Becken, which the body refines. And it's included in the immune system, even if it's not our immune system. Because Dr. Nida used to say that when you lose your La, when your La is attacked, let's say by spirits, or because you made a wound to yourself, an injury, you lose your La, you're losing your vital life, your life force. For instance, we take the pulse on the right and the left hand on the radial artery, and this pulse is taken on another artery. So it's very special energy. It's a protective energy. Protection of the body and mind. And so afterwards, when we have all this system of humors and everything, we will try to see whose people type to understand our patients. Okay? So we know, we want to know what humors make our patients, and we call a type. Typology or constitution, call it as you want. So we have 7 typologies in Tibetan medicine. Single types, as you see here, it's, let's say, 70-80% of one humor, either Lu, either Chika, either Becken, or either wind, either fire, or either water and earth. And the two other humors, there are a little bit of that, but a little bit. Okay. It's not the most, it's rare. It's quite rare, but you can see people like that. It's the first type here, really tiny and slight people, very thin. They can be small or they can be really big, really tall. But they're always thin. When they're Lung type. When they're Chipa type of one humor, they're like very muscular, they like to do a lot of sports, they like competitions, they want to be the first in everything. This is more a Chipa type, but with many muscles. And women also, they have muscles. Naturally, I mean. And another example of single type with Becken would be the third here, the third man and woman. They are more rounded, their bones are more dense. They can either be small or tall. Usually they are taller and really like the skeleton is very massive. Right? And they have a tendency to take weights very easily. Then we have double types.
So, Katy, may I ask, are people this type their whole lives, or do they change throughout their lives with certain events? So, like through pregnancy, just say for a woman, or weight loss for someone, does that change their typology?
Really good question, because normally when we are born, we have a type. It is our type, it is given by our parents, the genetics, and also all the patterns of our parents, and also our karma. Okay? And normally it is given for the life, the entire life. You should not change your type so much. Of course, during the course of your life, they say, also in Tibetan medicine, we say that children are more Becken type. They are like babies, you know, babies, they're like, how do you say? Not swollen, but they're big, you know. They have big cheeks, big thighs, big, you know, because they drink. a lot of
Sie
milk,
trinken viel
or
Milch,
they eat a lot and they
essen
sleep a
viel
lot. So
und
they're more
schlafen
Becken,
viel.
like fat.
Deswegen sind sie mehr dieser Bacon-Fetter-Typ.
But afterwards, in the adulthood, we have
wenn sie
all a
erwachsen
tendency,
werden,
a
dann hat
natural
man
tendency to
die
become more
Tendenz,
tripa.
dass man mehr Trieper
And
wird.
in the old age, we have
Und im
all
Alter
a tendency to
haben
become
wir alle eine
more lung.
Tendenz,
We
mehr
see
Lung zu
people get more emotional, they're more
werden. Man
fragile
wird
physically,
emotionaler,
they sleep less.
man
This is more
schläft
like
weniger,
lung is more like agitation,
mehr Lungen,
many emotions and many thoughts when it's not balanced, of
Agitation,
course.
wenn man
So
halt aus der
normally
Balance ist.
your type shouldn't change a
Normalerweise
little
würde
bit
sich der
naturally, but
Typ
if
nicht
you're
allzu
Pecan,
sehr ändern,
you
aber wenn
will
man
be
Bacon ist, dann wird
thinner in an
man
old age, but you will be
etwas
Pecan.
dünner
So
sein im Alter, aber
it can
immer noch
change
Bacon.
either if you
Kann
have,
sich,
radically change, if you have traumas or
aber
if you
durch
have
Trauma
a
kann es sich
illness,
auch
something like that.
radikal
Of
ändern,
course,
durch Krankheit.
pregnant women
Dann
also,
schwangere
they can see
Frauen
a little bit
können
changes because
auch
of the
einige
hormones. Sometimes they have
Änderungen
difficulties in
merken durch
weighting
die
weight, in
Hormone.
losing weight, sorry.
Sind man manchmal
After
Schwierigkeiten,
that,
das
because of the hormones.
Gewicht
It can
wieder
also
zu verlieren,
because the
aufgrund der
energy
Hormone.
of the baby
Die
will interact
Energie
with the
der
energy of the mom during
Babys wird
pregnancy.
halt auch
So it can
einen
happen,
Einfluss haben
Of course, if you have a
während der
bad
Schwangerschaft.
diet, a very bad,
Wenn man
or how
schlecht
do you say,
isst,
behavior, lifestyle,
schlechtes
it can also
Verhalten hat,
change
dann kann das natürlich auch einen Einfluss haben
typology.
auf den Typ.
Double types, it's the more
Dann
common
die
one,
Doppeltypen, das
where
ist
you have
das weiter
both
verbreitete.
two humors, let's
Da hat
say,
man also zwei
regular, quite
dieser Typen
regular,
verbunden.
quite the same amount of two humors, and the third one a
sind
little
dann
less.
ungefähr gleich stark vertreten,
And
der
the
dritte
triple type
weniger.
is the
Dann
less
haben wir noch
common,
den
but is the more, let's say, how do
den
you
ist
say,
nicht
the
sehr häufig,
most balanced, the more
aber
balanced.
der balancierteste.
Okay. We have a little bit more time. I just wanted to present you. In Tibetan medicine, we learn with trees.
Medizin,
And so I wanted to present you
verwenden wir oft Bäume.
The tree of health and the tree, at least the tree of health, because the tree of balance, you have already understood that things are not going so well. And I'm not going to talk about the causes and conditions because this is more like already medicine learning.
Und so weiter.
Or
Da werde ich
just
jetzt nicht
a
drauf eingehen,
little
weil das ist schon
But let's say that to
richtiges
be in good
Medizinstudium.
balance,
Aber um in
we need
Balance herzustellen,
divisions of Lung,
wir
Tripa and
die
Pecan, wind, fire and earth and water, in balance in the body.
Typen brauchen wir dann in
If
Balance
these
im
are in
Körper.
balance in the
Wenn sie
body,
nicht in Balance sind
it will
im
lead to
Körper,
the
dann
creation of the
führt das
body, the 7 bodily
zu
constituents,
den
the bones, the
7
tissues, the
körperlichen
marrow,
Konstituenten.
etc., etc.
Also,
The 3 excretions then
die,
go well because your body refines this energy and
dann sind die,
let's say put the wastes out normally.
Das sind die Exkretionen, was ausgestoßen wird vom
we
Körper.
have 2 flowers.
Dann haben wir hier 2 Blumen und 3 Früchte. Die 2 Blumen
good health,
sind gute Gesundheit,
in Tibetan, no disease,
keine Krankheit auf Tibetisch, nie mehr.
Long life, Tsering, long life. So already you have a glimpse of here of Buddhism.
Also, da klingt schon Buddhismus an, weil diese 15 Unterteilungen
it's not
sind
physical
Energien,
constituents of the body.
Körperliche
Tibetan medicine works with energy. If energy is in balance, you will have a good bridge between your mind and your body. Energy is the key. That's why the humors are so important. That's why the elements are so important. And when you have these 2 flowers, so long life and good health, then you have 3 fruits. These 3 fruits are what they call Che in Tibetan, Dharma, Nor, which is wealth, and Dewa, which is happiness.
Und Dewa,
Dharma it's not only Tibetan rituals and something. And Dharma, it can, even if you're not a practitioner at all, not spiritual practitioner, let's say you're normal people, you don't do practices. Dharma means that in your life, everything goes well. Your life is quiet. Everything goes as you want. Everything is okay. And in a more spiritual sense, it means, okay, flexibility of mind, spiritual path, etc. Then wealth,
Wohlstand,
is of course material wealth. You don't lack anything in your life, but also it is contentment, satisfaction.
Zufriedenheit.
This is very important to understand.
Wichtig,
and the third one, happiness, is the same. You are happy in your life,
seid glücklich im
and
Leben.
you're also happy of what you are. Not always seeking something else, something new, something different.
Nach was Neuem.
Life can be really happy
Das Leben kann
when it's
sehr
simple.
glücklich sein, wenn es einfach ist.
Yeah. So you see, the Tibetan Buddhism is already really included also in that scheme, in that knowledge of physical balance.
Integriert.
And the imbalance, we have different causes. It is very important that I speak a little bit about that also. Why? Because they say, Tibetans say that the fundamental ignorance is called ma-rikpa.
Das heißt Marikpa.
Ma is like none or absence of. Rikpa, we have seen it in the beginning. Rikpa is understanding, awareness, a lack of awareness. A lack of awareness of what? Of our fundamental nature. On a physical ground or level, it is, our three humors, how we could have a good diet, how we could have a good behavior to keep in balance. But in a more deeper level, it is really our nature. The three humors we call also the three faults. Nyepa sum, the three faults. Why faults? What are those three faults? It is dependent of the three humors on a psychological level. It is ignorance, attachment and desire, and aversion and hatred and anger. Right? Corresponds to Lung Chipa Peken.
Also diese Gefühle.
So if those three are not kept in balance in our mind, they will create the three humors. They will make the three humors in a non-balanced state. They will provoke unbalance of the three humors, physiologically speaking, Lung Chipa Peken. So it means that everything begins in our mind, even in Tibetan medicine. And the Buddha, and the medicine Buddha, Sanghimenda, told it when he gave the first teaching. He said, okay, I emanate myself in a special meditation to clear away all the diseases. Diseases of the mind, because if you don't have those three poisons anymore,
Krankheit, wenn man diese drei Geistesgifte nicht mehr hat,
then the three Nyepa,
dann
they will
die
be
drei,
kept in balance.
wenn sich diese
If your
drei
mind doesn't trigger them,
nicht in
they are
Balance
okay.
sein,
They function without you anyway.
okay,
I mean, you don't have to think of that. It's running by itself. The body knows how to run by itself. But at the very moment, you begin to have many thoughts,
viele Gedanken zu haben,
many emotions, you will generate this vibration in the element from the pure dimension to the impure dimension. And then here we go. Maybe the lung will become crazy, the air will become crazy, it will attack first the lung sites in the body, and then it will attack everything else, maybe the jipa, or maybe the peken, the bones, your muscles, etc. So you see how it goes. And then I just wanted to show you, because we have some minutes left.
You've got plenty of time, Katy. You got till 9. It's fine.
Okay.
Wir haben noch viel Zeit.
So maybe then this is the if I have time I will just see how it goes, the tree of diseases. So the imbalance, okay, the tree of diseases. The other trees are maybe Imbalance. I will see. So we have the three primary causes of imbalance, which are the three faults I just mentioned: desire, ignorance, and anger, which lead to four secondary causes, because this imbalance of the mind will lead to some patterns of behavior in our daily lives. So the four secondary causes of improper diet, improper lifestyle, also seasonal time and season influences, and what we call provocations. Provocations also can lead to a disequilibrium, to an imbalance. So it's not only evil spirits. They can be evil spirits also that provoke you some kind of disease. You can be attacked by them. But also what the Tibetan call provocation are our state of mind. It's like psychosomatic issues. You generate yourself some disequilibrium. And also what we call provocations are microorganisms. So these microorganisms can be in an unbalanced state and then provoke you a pathology. And then we have different entrances of diseases. So here you have for Lung, for Chipa, for Pekan. They have special pathways. Each of the humor have a pathway. So they are located in different regions in the body. Let's say that basically Pekan is in the upper part of the body, Chipa, the fire, is more in the medium part of the body, and the Lung will be more in the left part of the body, the thighs and the legs. And
Katy, they influence different parts of the body as well when they're out of balance?
Of course. For instance, Chipa is, let's say, we say that it's in the middle of the body, right? And let's say, what's the nature of fire? Fire burns and goes up, right? If you set a fire, the fire always goes up. And if let's say that your Chipa is unbalanced because you have your Chipa, you have a lot of Chipa already. Let's say an example can be that you are going under the sun in summertime instead of keeping like in shady places. Let's say you go on the sun and it's makes your tripa go crazy. You can have headaches. Why? Because the fire will go up, and mostly the symptoms are headaches. Not always. There can be other symptoms, but
Katy, is that if you have a constitution that is more tripa than others?
What did you say? Sorry?
So if you have a constitution that is more of the fire element, is that when that particular effect happens?
Yeah, because if you already have this kind of nature, hot things will of course affect you more. So you're more sensitive. You already have this type of nature. If you have this constitution already, more than others, because you're already always hot. Because of this chipa you have inside, this fire that you have inside, more than other types. Of course, because other types are cold, so they will have other problems. And so we also see that moments of manifestation means that we really have to be aware of where we live according to our typology, what we eat, when we eat, in what season, because all of these things will have an influence on our typologies. And if the typology, you don't know how to keep it in balance, you will most probably have problems. Not always big pathologies or severe pathologies, but you will be in imbalance. So you will have problems anyway. And then the conclusion, as I said before this morning, we have hot, how cold. Yeah. So this is the tree of balance, which the Tibetan call, it is very funny, Nam Par Gyurpa. Nam Parma Gyurpa. Nam Parma Gyurpa means the nature is not changed. Your nature is not changed.
Deine Natur ändert sich nicht.
Okay. Here we have, if we have time, we have the
you still got 30 minutes.
Okay.
So you're good.
Okay. Oh yeah. Here you have here you have the diagnosis tree.
Für die,
okay, we
den
won't
Baum der
see
Diagnose.
in detail, but let's say that we have three main diagnosis criteria,
Kriterien für die
which
Diagnose,
I listed here. Observation, which corresponds
die Beobachtung
to one trunk.
entsprechend
Palpation,
einem dieser
which
Stämme,
is the second trunk of the root of the tree, and anamnesis, the third trunk. Anamnesis is the history of the patient. What are the symptoms, etc. When did it happen, etc., etc. Right.
Palpations,
So,
Belastung,
in
Abtasten,
the
Tasten,
observation part of the
Also bei der
diagnosis,
Beobachtung
we have
der
mainly
Diagnose
two
haben wir
things.
hauptsächlich zwei
We have the
Teile.
observation of the
Das eine ist die
tongue, which is
Beobachtung
very
der
important
der Zunge.
in Soarikpa,
Das ist sehr wichtig
in
in der
Tibetan Medicine,
Soarikpa,
and the
Tibetische
urine
Medizin und dann
analysis.
die Urinanalyse.
We also have an observation of the sense organs, the eyes, the
Beobachtung
nose,
der
the mouth,
Sinnesorgane,
the skin, the ears, the nails. We have many
Augen,
things,
Nase,
but let's say that the most
Zunge,
important are urine and tongue.
Haut, aber das
So
Wichtigste
according
sind
to your typology, you will
Urin und
have
Zunge. Gemäß
different
der
clues.
Typologie haben wir verschiedene
For instance,
Schlüssel.
lung will have a really
Bei
reddish
Lungen
and dry because
sehr
lung is
rot
like the
und
wind; it dries many
der
things.
Lungen
Your
trocknet
urine
Dinge
also
aus,
will be
der
very clear with
Urin
big
wird sehr klar
bubbles.
sein mit großen Blasen.
If you are, let's say, tripartite typology, your
Tripa-Typ,
urine
da
will be
wird
more
der
reddish or
Urin
yellowish
mehr
with a
rötlich oder
smell,
gelblich
very
sein
strong
und
smell,
starken Geruch haben
and lots of sediments.
und viele
And if you are
Sedimente.
Pecan type, your
Und
urine will be
Beacon-Typ, da wird der
also like very
Urin
pale,
sehr
whitish,
weißlich sein.
No smell, no vapor,
Kein
because it's cold,
Geruch,
it's
kein
white, and the bubbles,
Dampf.
the bubbles will be like cappuccino, like a beer, or you know
und die Blasen werden wie Cappuccino oder Bier sein. Schaum.
Coating, it will be, the urine really will be like that. It's really true. And so this is how we can. So first, you have to know what is the typology of the person, and according to that, you should find the same things in the urine. But if they are in excess, or if they show something else, then you can have a clue of what is going on, what tumor is not in balance. Then the palpation. Palpation is the pulse reading, which is quite important. So I can put here, I will come back to this tree, but I can put here, for instance, the urine that I mentioned, then you can have some examples. So for instance, those kinds of urine very clear, would be more lung, because they're transparent like water, water-like. These two would be more like tripa, because this one is quite yellowish reddish. This one is reddish, and also Pecan would be very clear, very white, but with big bubbles. Here I don't have the bubbles. And so, why it is so important, the urine analysis? Because Tibetans say that it's the mirror of the body, of our internal organs. That's right. When we, urine is the subproduct of metabolism, in fact. So if you digest well, you will have a very good health for Tibetans. And so, as I told you, the digestive process, what we call digestive fire is what separates the pure parts of the food and drink from the impure parts. So, if you want to have a good digestion, if you don't have a good digestion, then you're not able to separate this pure from impure, the nutrients from the waste, let's say. And then your body, Hippocrates already told that. You are what you eat. So if you don't digest properly, you will have waste in your body that will create like some kinds of beginning to inflammate or leave some waste in your body, right? In your intestines and so on.
So what does good look like?
What do you mean?
When we come to urine, you've obviously spoken about the imbalance of the different elements. What does good look like?
It's a special color. It's a yellowish color, very special. I was very surprised the first time that Dr. Machikla showed us what should be a normal urine, because I thought it would be really clearer. But here it would be darker than the. You see this one? This one here, the last one, the last part. Is quite yellowish. It's even a little bit darker, but it's not turbid. Here, the part is turbid, the urine is turbid. It should not be turbid. It should be like transparent, really, with no many sediments, no lots of sediments. Shouldn't be nor too hot nor too cold either. So we have really specific signs, right? But it's really difficult to explain if you don't see that. It's always easier when you see. So this is a normal urine. And so if it's too clear, means that you have it's too cold. Your body is too cold. Your digestion is too weak. So either it's lung, air, or it can be pecan, or both of them. Right?
Wind sein oder zu viel Regen.
And the same way, if it's too yellow,
und wenn
too
es zu
dark,
gelblich, zu dunkel
hot,
ist
the
oder zu
urine
heiß, dann
has a lot of
hat der
vapor, let's
Urin
say.
viel,
So you can think,
viel Dampf.
even if your nature is tripa,
Selbst
it
wenn die
shouldn't
Natur
be
Tripa ist,
so
dann
red,
sollte es
so
trotzdem nicht
hot,
so
right?
rot sein, so heiß.
Then you can say, maybe my
sagen,
tripa is too
mein
elevated.
Tripa
I have to
ist
calm down my
zu
tripa. I have
stark, ich muss die
to
Tripa
reduce it.
herunterfahren.
So this is the mirror of the body
Das ist der
because
Spiegel
it
des
really gives
Körpers,
us
weil es
some clues
uns
about
Schlüssel
what
darüber
we
gibt,
call the anabolic process, the
anabolische
constructive process of the body,
nennen.
and the catabolic,
Und der katabolisch
getting out of the waste of the body. And so we check color, odor,
die
steam,
Exkretion.
temperature of the
Also wir
urine,
checken die
the bubbles,
Farbe, den
smell, sediments.
Geruch,
The film is
den Dampf,
the
die
little film,
Temperatur,
the
die
greasy part you can see sometimes on top
Blasen,
of the urine.
die
The time of change and how it changes. All factors are very important. And then,
Wandels und wie es sich verändert.
the pulse is also a
Der
really
Puls
important
ist
in
auch
Tibetan medicine,
unheimlich wichtig in der tibetischen
but
Medizin,
it is really hard.
aber es ist
In
natürlich
urine is
sehr schwierig.
far
Urin ist
easier
viel leichter,
because you can see, you can
alles
check,
kann man
you
sehen,
can
man kann es
fact check,
überprüfen.
right? The pulse is
Der
more
Puls
subtle and
ist subtiler.
we have signs.
Und ja,
It's
wir haben
not I decide,
Zeichen.
we have
Es ist
signs,
nicht,
okay?
es gibt schon Zeichen.
Each humor corresponds signs.
Jeder dieser drei Typen entspricht gewissen Zeichen.
It's more subtle.
Es ist subtiler.
So the Tibetan doctors say that to really
Tibetischen
read the
Ärzte
pulse, you
sagen,
need
um
like
den
20 years
Puls
of
richtig lesen zu
15,
können, braucht
20
man
years of practice.
15 bis 20 Jahre, mindestens 10
begin
Jahre
to be good at pulse
Praxis,
reading, right?
den Puls gut lesen zu können.
But it's beautiful because it's a divination system. Urine also can be used as divination system.
also auch ein Vorhersagesystem, kann man auch
one who's very physical,
machen.
like the beating, how many beats per minute,
Diagnose, wie viele Schläge pro Minute,
single
Stärke,
beat, double beats,
Stärke, Doppelschläge und so weiter.
Then we have a more energetic
der energetische
which is more
Ebene,
concerning the three nyepas, the three
bezieht sich mehr auf
humors,
die
Lung, Chipa,
drei
Pecken,
Typen,
and the blood and all other humors.
Blut und so weiter.
Let's say the three more important.
Diese drei sind die wichtigsten davon.
Afterwards we have more subtle level. This one is more using divination, and also you can
Vorhersagen.
Those who can do that, you can even read the mind, you can even feel the emotions of the person, and you can do divination.
Und die
but you really need to be,
aber
not everybody can do that.
Kann nicht jeder machen.
And also they use the pulses for different reasons. You can check the constitution when you're not sure, because sometimes you see a person, you make the, how do you say, the test, but still you're not so sure about the type. Single or triple type. No, single is easy. But double or triple types, sometimes it's tricky, you're not sure.
Doppeltyp
so,
ist oder Dreifachtyp.
You take the pulse, and the pulse also can indicate you. Of course, I really have the three humors.
Ja, ich habe wirklich diese
I don't have that.
drei Typen.
So pulse for constitution. Then we have pulse for humor.
Dann haben wir den,
are you balanced or imbalanced? And if imbalanced, which humors are imbalanced and how?
Dann welche
and where?
Typen
and then energetic and seasonal pulses.
Und dann auch die
we have some, like in astrology, we have Tanya, you could you know that the cycles of mother, child, friend, enemy relationships during the season. Some elements are stronger; they're a bit stronger in the pulse. So we should take that into account, not to mistake it for, let's say, a humoral imbalance in the pulse. It's the season that makes the element pulse stronger. Okay, so
check that only from a pulse, or you would use other elements like an astrological chart for someone and balance those both.
When we do when we learn Tibetan medicine, it is said that at least we should be an amateur astrologer to be a good physician, and the reverse is true. To be a good astrologer, you should at least be an amateur, so a Rigpa practitioner, because they are linked. They're so linked. Of course, if you know astrology, you can use the chart. It's more precise. But if you don't, like many of the physicians, because they don't really have the time to get all this knowledge, because both are big knowledges, you know. And at least, yes, you should have notions. But if you can do the chart, it's better. It's far better, right? Otherwise, you know, you do as you can. And also they have 7 amazing pulses, and they use those for divination, especially weddings, death process, also the, how do you say, when a pathology is already here, what will be the issue, what will be the result of the diagnosis, of the treatment, etc., etc. So they are really profound systems, really, really profound. For the pulse, we also have a special retreat. If we do the path, the spiritual path, to gain more, let's say, powers in reading pulse, as I told, because it is quite complicated. You can make a special retreat if your master agrees, of course, if you're ready for that. And it will enhance. They say that it will enhance your powers in reading the pulse. You can access. Then you will be able to access the subtle level
verbessern, vor allem, dass man dann diese subtilen
and then
Ebenen,
the third part of the diagnosis is the history of the patient.
Und jetzt hier die Krankheitsgeschichte
diagnosis root tree.
bei der Diagnose,
and you see that for each of the humor, lung,
für jeden dieser drei
and Becken,
Typen
you have different symptoms.
Gibt es verschiedene Symptome.
So this is really an important phase
to
really talk with the
Phase,
patient, to really
dass man mit
listen
dem
to what it tells you.
Patienten spricht.
Sometimes people they are not even aware that they know what is happening to them. But if you really listen to them,
Patienten gar nicht bewusst, dass sie wissen, was das Problem ist.
They tell you, like in a really normal conversation, oh, I've been doing this and afterwards this happened. Yes, they know. So this is a very, very important part.
Das ist also ein sehr wichtiger Teil,
also, what really distinguishes Tibetan medicine
auch die tibetische Medizin unterscheidet, ist die Ethik der Ärzte. Also
on that.
Hat sehr viel Wert drauf gelegt. Nicht wie in der westlichen Prozess.
We don't have to lie to the patient.
Wir müssen den Patienten nicht anlügen, aber manchmal, wenn der Patient den Tod fürchtet oder irgendwie wirklich ernsthafte Pathologie haben, dann sollten wir manchmal nicht sagen,
this truth is really difficult to cope with, right? So we have a special deontology. Also, we have to always be compassionate, even if someone has so much money. You should not leave him. And you see, we have also criteria to refuse sometimes a patient, but it's not because the lack of compassion. It's not because we don't like this person. The reason are really very specific ones when you don't want to cure someone. Otherwise, you have to behave like a bodhisattva, because physicians are really for this path, they are bodhisattvas, right? They should be, at least. They should try to be bodhisattvas. And then just, we have a little more time. The third route is the tree of therapies, the root or tree of
Therapie.
We have four main Behandlungsmethoden. Difficult to say. Therapeutical methods. Sorry. Therapies, four main therapies. We have diet, which is very, very important in Tibetan medicine. According to the season, according to your type, you have a special diet frame, right? Lifestyle also, where should you live, in what country, hot, cold, rainy, windy, not windy, blah, blah, because still the same of your constitution. Also with the seasons and the time of life, you should not behave the same way. Then we have medication.
Dann haben wir die Medizin.
This part, we have all the different kinds of tastes and potencies that will cure your imbalances. How do you say, to compose a remedy according to taste and potencies, according to your humor or your humors. Which kind of remedies, for instance, for the lung pathologies, we should take medicinal butters and soups. But it's different, for instance, for Pecan would be like ashes and pills with different herbs inside, etc., etc. And for Tripa, it will be more like what we call tongue decoctions and powders, very like bitter ones, shoot the tripa, etc., etc. whereas it should be sweeter for lung, which is already very dry and very hard. Then we will calm down the lung with sweet things. Yeah, you see? So this part is more like the pharmacopoeia and how to take the remedies and to compound them. And the last one are the external therapies, which I will introduce you now because they are very important. It's a big part. So external therapies, they are not all listed here because really has so many external therapies. Sorry. I want you to put the slide. Yeah. So basically, let's say that we have physical external therapies and on the other hand, energetical, more subtle external therapies. So, physical external therapies are two kinds, mild therapies and more invasive therapies. The mild ones are, I will list them here, and then I will show you some also, I can do both. So mild therapies, in mild therapies you have the kunye, which is the traditional Tibetan massage, the horme. So I can show you here. Kunye is here. You see the massage, and this is a massage with sesame oil. Or we can use olive oil for tripa or no oil for pecan, for instance. And it's done with the hands, but also with shells, hot stones, compresses, etc. We have many varieties of tools for this massage too. It's quite long. Traditionally, it lasts 2 hours and a half or 3 hours. It's very complete. It has different phases. It's very, very complete. I had the chance to receive one in Tibet when we were there, and really it stabilized myself for 4 months. I was so incredibly surprised. I said, whoa. So yeah, it's really a terrific massage. So good. Very, very deep. And then here in the hand, you see the powders, they remove the oil for certain types for pecan. The horme, I should have it here. Yes. Horme.
Sorry, Katy, can I ask for pecan, is it you don't use liquids because you're adding liquid to it, a water constitution? Is that how
exactly. It means it's liquid and greasy. It's the grease, fat. Because, for instance, let's say that you have a pecan type. Pecan, it's water and earth, so it's in the characteristic of these humors. They are liquid, of course, but they are also they have fat. That's why pecan type tends to have a tendency to gain weight very easily because it already has this fat producing in itself. So if you put oil on that, you will increase the pecan. So you can make an imbalance or even create a disorder, right? Because sometimes you can use a specific oil, which is not oil, which is ghee. It's the butter with removing all the proteins. And then you keep only the essence of fat, and this one is not so bad for pecan. But still you have to remove in the hand. Okay. So the horme is here. You see there are these pads. Inside we have a recipe with different spices for the lung. Mainly it's for the lung to pacify this humor, which makes the two other ones communicate. So then, because this is the main humor that triggers and puts, let's say, the mess everywhere. So if you calm the lung, then usually the two other humors will be also quiet. And so it helps to sleep, it helps to remove anxiety, helps to remove stress. It's really simple. You just soak your little pads in warm oil. And then you treat points. We have points in the crown, on the head. You have the mandala, the 5 mandala elements. The 5 elements mandala, sorry. Then we have some points here. We have different points, the soles of the feet and the palms of the hand. We have different protocols to do this horme. And really also we can put cotton pads in the ears. This is so pacifying.
Im Ohr,
so for instance, instead of, if you have insomnia problems, instead of taking medicine, you can first do that. Receive a little bit of kunye, of massage, or only horme. You can do horme to yourself. It's really simple. And then you can sleep. Or we have also spices. If you don't have the time to do the horme or you're too tired, let's say, you can only make a little recipe with, how do you say, clove and how do you say,
Muskatnuss und
how do you say, nutmeg? Sorry, nutmeg. A little pinch of nutmeg
Muskatnuss
in a tea or hot water with a little bit of, let's say, milk or something fat. Also cinnamon. You can put a little bit of cinnamon, but the nutmeg is Zimt, mainly it's the nutmeg. And you drink that 1 hour before going to sleep. And if you have sleep issues, you can do that several days. Then you will, it will really help you sleep, definitely. And it's all natural. Then in the My Therapies, you also have the compresses, called Dug. Tibetan, the hot or cold compresses. I list and then I will show you the different pictures. The cupping, sorry, the yuksho, I forget the yuksho. Yuksho are the sticks. There are sticks that I will show you afterwards. It's more like subtle also. It was a very secret therapy until not so late. And you go and you work with the vibration on the body, on the muscles and on some points. Also really releasing, relieving a pain, stress, really effective too. The cupping also is really quite traditional. Traditional cups are in copper. Here, these are the yuksha. Here the sticks, you can see them. And they are like the horme. So it's wood. And here,
for the copper cups, Katy?
What?
The reason for the copper cups?
It's because it's more conducive to. It's more conducive. The copper is a super conducive for heat, and also it helps to take the heat away. For instance, the Tibetan, when you have too much tripa fire in the liver, they use what they call melong. It's a copper. It's not a real mirror. Melong means mirror. It's not a real mirror. It's a copper mirror. It helps pacify the tripa. So it also helps take the heat away, go away. Because the muscles, in the muscles we have the blood. And blood is like really hot, right? But now we can use glass or bamboo cups or even what we call wet cups. The image is here. So wet cups, it means like it's like you're pumping you're taking out the air with the cup, and then and you see through. So that's why interesting with those cups. You can manage the pressure and you can see through them. So yeah, it's not so bad. They're not so bad. And here you have the yuksho, and the yuksho I wanted to mention. Some of them have pads. They also use in the provocation, sometimes against provocation against evil spirits. Okay, we're almost done. We have the smoke therapy, of course, with natural substances, and don't put any incense with how do you say, pesticide or non-natural substances. It's really dangerous. Nasal therapy, bath and skin therapies, and soft enema. Enema is like you are washing the colon.
da wäscht man halt den Dickdarm.
It's a particular protocol,
das ist also eine ganz bestimmte Behandlung,
impair the mucus we have in the intestines. Otherwise, it can be very, it can cause damage. It's a very particular protocol. Then in the invasive therapies, we have moxa, I think everybody knows. Bloodletting. So we have seen a little bit of bloodletting, but we do not practice it because it's really for physicians.
Das ist eigentlich wirklich eine Sache für Ärzte ist.
Surgery, of course we don't do surgery at all.
Auch nicht.
Tell me is really interesting, and also purgative therapies, emetics, when you need to vomit, etc. But the tell me is an instrument. Where is it? Here you get the moxas, the different moxibustions, with edelweiss, with ginger, with horns, with wood.
Hornholz.
Yeah, but this is already really known already. The telme is here. So here you get the bloodletting, and here you get the Aderlass. Telme is really interesting because it's an iron stick. You put in the fire,
den man ins
you really let it become red or white hot, the iron. And then, of course, you don't touch the skin, but you put a red, let's say, a red tissue. It's mostly for the joints, but not only. And you cure very deep joints problems.
Damit kuriert man sehr
very
tiefe,
ancient or chronic or
sehr alte, chronische
there is a ram syllable, which is the germ syllable of the fire, ram, and you approach the telme near the red tissue and near the ram, and you cure, you can tell mantras, etc. And it's really effective.
Mantras, das ist alles sehr effektiv.
Here also I wanted to show you the compresses. You have stone compress, salt compress.
Salz.
Salt compress is really easy to make at home.
Sehr leicht, auch zu Hause
zu machen. You can do hot compresses. It's a natural painkiller.
Also
when you have pain, let's say you have back pain and you don't know what to do and you don't have moxa, you don't have anything. You can put a salt compress on it. It's a natural painkiller. Or a hot stone also works very well.
Stein,
they also cure with springs, natural springs, hot or cold, and with
natürliche Quellen, heiß und kalt.
Okay, so now just a little conclusion.
Jetzt zum Abschluss.
Why is
warum
important to rely, Kala Chakra Tantra
und
Tibetan
medicine zu verbinden?
Well, I told you that Yutok was inspired when he depicted the Vajra body, also the cosmological background of Soaripa from the Kala Chakra Tantra.
Vom Kala Chakra Tantra.
But also, it seems to me that
es scheint für mich auch, dass
small, even if it's huge in itself already,
selbst wenn es riesig ist, es ist ein sehr kleiner Teil von Kala Chakra.
I have the luck to follow Khenpo Rinpoche and the Kala Chakra Tantra teachings with the Dzogchen Sangha. And for me, I'm not a specialist at all.
Ich bin kein Spezialist, bin da wirklich noch recht neu, auch im Buddhismus.
For me, it's a part.
Aber für mich ist es ein Teil davon.
Like just one string of the whole thing, you know. So it's really important to keep this in mind, that everything is interconnected, everything is interdependent. We call that tendril in Soaripa. But it's really true. So, Kala Chakra and Tibetan medicine, they have the same philosophical Buddhist background and concepts. Their cosmology, their astrology,
die Kosmologie, die Astrologie, die 5 Elemente,
the subtle body, the Buddhist precepts of moral conduct, ethics, everything is really similar.
Die Versprechen für
We have tiny differences in the Vajra body, for instance.
Es gibt kleine Unterschiede im Vajra-Körper, aber es sind wirklich Details, nicht die Grundlagen.
They have the same structure.
Sie haben die gleiche Struktur,
they also have the same vision of the creation of the universe and the body, how the energy is the bridge between body and mind, etc.
Körper und Geist.
So yeah, the structure is like the same. We are working with the body.
Arbeiten mit dem Körper.
We work with the body. We are body from an external, internal, and secret level. But all is all about taming our mind. All is all about transforming the 3 poisons or the 5 poisons into 5 wisdoms, into Kala Chakra. I mean, this is the same purpose. It's not said in the same way, but
es wird anders ausgedrückt, aber das Ziel ist dasselbe.
To tame our own mind,
unseren
to
Geist zu
become aware,
und bewusst zu werden,
to liberate ourselves. Really.
Uns selbst zu befreien.
So both are liberation
Beide
paths,
sind
even
Pfade zur Befreiung, obwohl natürlich bei der Idognetik sehr
Kala Chakra is really huge, has many practices,
was riesig ist mit vielen
many yogas.
Viele Yogas.
We are also in the Utognetic we also have the 6 yogas, but they're not the same. They're not the same yogas. They are the yogas of Naropa. So we have illusory body.
Wir haben den Illusionskörper.
We have illusory body. We have
den Illusionskörper.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember now. I'm stressed. We have the dream yoga, etc. We have the different sets of yogas. We have 6, but they are not the same as the Kala Chakra. So it's really interesting to see also the purpose of each yoga, but of course Kala Chakra is quite more developed. The 3 isolations, for instance, we don't have in the
diese 3 Isolationsmeditationen im Utognetik.
Also okay, what I wanted to say? It's connected to the chakra, Medicin, Astro, Sache, and Ejang. Yeah, we have also a part, very interesting part in the Swarika, which we have to learn. At least as amateurs also. So it's astrology, of course, I already told you, but it's also Sache. Sache is the geomancy, Tibetan geomancy, like the Feng Shui, let's say, in Chinese tradition.
Feng Shui.
And also to David Martin next month, who's going to tell us all about that.
Exactly, we will present the Sache part. And the Nejang, what is Nejang? It's a very interesting yoga, which also takes its root in the Kala Chakra Tantra. It's a medicinal yoga in 24 postures. In reality, there are more, but we've learned that with 24 postures, and it's related to Kala Chakra because we are working with the 24 sacred places, energetic places on Earth and in the universe, and which is mentioned in the Kala Chakra, the sacred energetic places of subtle energy on Earth and in the universe. So with this very simple yoga, which is very different from the Indian yogas, where you stretch, like Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, you stretch a lot. This one is really quiet. You move a little bit, but not as in the other yogas. And you really focus on breathing.
Der Fokus liegt auf dem Atmen, dem subtilen Körper, macht eine starke Verbindung mit dem Inneren, mit seinem Inneren. Nicht nur Körper, sondern auch Energie und Geist. Und wenn man durch dieses Yoga durchgeht, dann spürt man diese Transformation sofort. Wenn man wirklich konzentriert ist, dann kann man es direkt erfahren. Es ist wirklich
and you can
sehr
do it from 7 to 77 years
man kann
because
es
you can
machen,
be
ob
on
man
a
7
chair,
ist
you
oder
have
77
backache.
Jahre alt.
If you don't know how to breathe, it's
Stuhl
okay. You don't
machen,
have to
wenn man
breathe. You just do the
muss
movements
nicht
and that's it.
alles,
So yes, I love it because it's simple and it's
einfach,
how do you say effective.
Es ist sehr effektiv.
Really direct, you know.
Sehr direkt.
Yes, what I just wanted to finish is that the Kala Chakra is the complete system encompassing all the knowledge because it contains everything. And Soarikpa is just a tiny part, but it's really an important part because it's so important to know how to help ourselves, help the others. It's also a Buddhist path
ein buddhistischer Pfad an sich, in sich selbst.
And then I just wanted to introduce you, of course, Shakato Rinpoche for those who really know him, but also Dr. Nida Chanaksan, who is my master and teacher in Soarikpa medicine. So yes, I wanted you to see him.
Ich wollte, dass ihr ihn auch seht.
If you need more
Wenn ihr mehr Informationen haben wollt,
our school had made before the COVID thing a website, international website,
Webseite aufgebaut.
Sorig.net. But I think the website now is in how do you say? Is not functioning like before. They are rearranging the site. I don't know what they're doing, but they're redoing it. They're rebuilding it. So but you can have a look if you want. We also have many Sorikangs. Sorikangs are the houses of Tibetan medicine throughout the world, in Asia, in America, in Europe. So you can Google Sorikan or Soarikpa and you will find, of course, we are not the only school. There are many schools of Tibetan medicine. But yes, I wanted you to see Dr. Nida because it's really fantastic. And yes, just we finished with the words of Yutok, Yonten Gampo, the father of Tibetan medicine. My wish is that Tibetan medicine was spread.
There we go. Sorry, we lost your screen for a second, Katy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I see. It's because I have a, how do you say, a switch pad and it made, it switched the screen. In my computer, it did the same. Sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, let's finish with the words of Yutok, My wish is that Tibetan medicine would spread like the infinite expanse of the sky,
unbegrenzte Weite des Himmels, allen fühlenden Wesen zu nutzen.
Thank you so much, Katy.
Vielen Dank,
Katy. Welcome. Thank you.
Wonderful. We do have a few questions. If you are up for answering some questions,
sure.
If anyone does have some extra questions, please add them to the Q&A section.
Bitte in die Q&A.
All right, so the first question, Katy.
Die erste Frage, Katy.
When a practitioner isolates to do spiritual practice, he or she faces health problems because of the lack of movement or muscle activity. So how do you establish balance in this type of situation?
Yeah, this is a really good question because it's really an issue. Lack of movement, lack of sport is one of the bad habits that we can have, but sometimes we don't have a choice. It's like that because you have other priorities or you are seated, either you're doing a retreat and you want to finish your retreat, either you work behind a computer in an office and you don't really have always. So you can do what you can do. Is yoga. Practices of yoga. Maybe Nejang or other things. You have to stretch, you have to move your body. So yes, this is part. The yogas are made also for that.
Die Yogas sind auch
dafür to make your body and your energy run more freely in the body, because
freier
it's
fließen
not
zu lassen im Körper.
only a matter of
Es ist nicht, geht
moving.
nicht nur darum, dass man nicht nur um die Bewegung, also Bewegung ist
But
wichtig, aber wenn ihr keine Bewegung braucht, also meine Erfahrung war,
when you move, what's the good of moving? Okay, you train your muscle, but you make your energy run freely.
Man lässt die Energie auch
When you sit it blocks your energy.
Sitzen ist
So
die
if you
Energie
do
blockiert,
energetical
und wenn
yogas,
energetisches
stretching,
Yoga macht,
it will make your energy flow,
das
even
lässt
if
die
you sit
Energie
it on a
fließen,
chair or sit
selbst
it
wenn
on
man
a cushion.
auf
So it is not as
einem
good
Stuhl
as
sitzt
sport,
oder auf einem
but
Sitzkissen.
good,
Ist nicht so gut
balance.
wie Sport, aber es ist eine gute Balance.
Thank you.
Vielen Dank.
Okay, so
Dann
Tibetan and Chinese have a yearly zodiac, which has an element that's also included.
Habt ihr also was?
So I think this person's asking what virus is, I guess, what causes viruses? Is it a particular element
Virusse
or?
Yeah.
Okay, in Tibetan medicine, right? Afterwards, anyone thinks what he thinks, has the right to think what they think. But in Tibetan medicine, this is called a provocation. So they say that we humans pollute the earth, the air, the earth, the water, etc. And it is said, it is believed that in the atmosphere of the earth, around the earth, you have the atmosphere, the stratosphere, etc. In the sky, in one of these regions of the sky, live spirits. Spirits of the air that live there. And they have the power, if we disturb them or pollute them, to send viruses on Earth, pandemics. Right? So for Tibetan, it's always because our ignorance made it happen.
Für die Tibeter ist das unser Einfluss.
This is the Tibetan theory. And that's why we have mantras, we have rituals to apologize towards the spirit, to stop doing nasty things towards them, and to repay, because
unsere Schuld.
You believe it or you don't believe it, but if they exist, they have the right to live peacefully, as we do. It's not because we don't see them that they don't exist in the first place. It's not because we are not aware that they don't have a right. So yeah, Tibetan medicine.
This could exist on an individual basis, or an individual who contracts a virus, or a community basis, or even a world.
Yes, of course. It can be at all the levels you mentioned, because it's also a karmic connection. Either it's like ignorance, you don't know and you pollute because you're not even aware they exist, or you do it on purpose, which is worse. But, and also you can have a karmic connection at an individual level, more like state level, or country level, or worldwide, of course, because we have individual karma and we have, how do you say, interconnected karma, like worldwide karma. So it can happen that if you have a really good karma, everyone's sick, you're not sick. Or the reverse, everyone is in good health and you get sick because your karmic connection to the spirit is not good. You have to, that karma is going on. Of course.
Kann man dann auch der Einzige sein, der krank ist.
Thank you. Another couple, Katy, if you're okay.
Yeah, sure.
How do we use urine, or how is urine used as divination?
Wie wird Urin verwendet als Divination,
Vorhersage? Or...
Yeah, I guess how you the process.
Yeah. Okay, so first you have to go. Traditionally, it was a white pot. Nowadays we use like transparent, like bottles or things like that. But traditionally, it was a white pot with two sticks, and you
mit zwei Stäben
you do like with the sticks to soup. Yeah, exactly. With the sticks in the pot of the urine. So you have to be in the eastern direction. You mark the east.
In die Richtung
And then
Osten
the
ausgerichtet sein.
person P is in that direction, in the east. So you have to know where it's a whole process. It's not like, yes, of course you can guess if you can ask the person. There's another system you can guess where's the east. But okay, let's say the normal protocol of divination. So you P towards east. This is the eastern direction. And then the sample is taken and they make a square with sticks also, like 9 squares. They put 4 sticks, like, and they make a 9 square on the urine, and each part of the square represents a region, a direction, and also spirit. So they know if the pathology or the, let's say, the disease or the problem comes from your ancestor or present time or will be in the future. Let's say it's from the hell realm, from the gods, from those kinds of spirits. They process like that.
So auf diese Weise wird das.
Welcome.
Katy, we'll take one final question.
Ja, eine letzte Frage.
So, can anyone just find the sources that you've mentioned, or should one always be under the guidance of an Amshi or a teacher?
What do you mean the sources?
So all of the therapies.
Diese ganzen Therapien, die du erwähnt hast, braucht man immer einen Lehrer.
The study elements as well, the books and the text.
Oh. To study, you can study by yourself, but as it is the Gyushi, the 4 tantras, it's a Nupadesha tantra, it's a secret tantra. It means that not all the instructions are given in the book. So you can read by yourself, of course, and you will understand a lot of things. This is no problem. But you won't see, if you don't have the explanation of your teacher,
wenn man die Erklärung nicht hat von dem
Lehrer,
nicht hat, dann wird man nicht alles verstehen.
At all. So, because they're just not told. So, for me, it's always better to have a teacher,
einen Lehrer zu haben,
to do your studies. If you just want to have 2 or 3 notions, okay, let's say you want to know what are the spices for the lung, what are the spices for tripa, what are the spices for pecan, and then you can do like some teas or infusion at home. Okay, I say it's okay.
Solche Sachen kann man auch
otherwise,
selber zu Hause machen.
It's very serious stuff.
Aber ansonsten ist es natürlich sehr ernsthaft.
You wouldn't want to do bad things to yourself or to others, right? So it's always important to be under the guidance of someone who knows.
Also man sollte immer unter der Führung von jemandem sein, der sich auskennt.
Well, thank you, Katy. That brings us
vielen Dank,
to
Katy.
the end of our questions
Das
for tonight.
bringt uns das Ende der Fragen
Thank you
für
very
heute.
much for giving us all of this wonderful knowledge tonight. I'm sure everyone has learned a lot.
Wir haben alle
So we
sicherlich
thank
viel
you very
gelernt.
much.
Vielen Dank.
If anyone is interested in the resources, the study resources that Katy mentioned earlier, we can make that
Texte,
available
die
if you would like to email in
wenn ihr, da könnt ihr uns
I
e-mailen und dann
just
schicken wir euch
wanted to
die
thank
Liste mit den
Zogden
Texten.
for giving me this
Also vielen
great
Dank an
opportunity
Zogden,
to
dass ich
speak
diese
about Savarikpa, even if it's a
Möglichkeit
small
hatte, über
introduction.
Savarikpa
I'm very happy
reden
to be
konnte.
sharing this with you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Katy. It was wonderful.
Vielen Dank.
And we'll end
wunderbar.
here. Thank you.
Und ja, das war's.